But I saw a little bit of a comparison from like people who I guess maybe left Greece at the time and went to those regions and like were very influenced by like Greek culture and stuff like that, and then obviously it turned into Italy. Is that like, and then like maybe Greeks didn't claim those people because they're like, you're not Greek, you're now in Italy. Is that the same now? Like Italian Americans living in like New Jersey and like Canada versus like people
the Italians don't want to claim
the Italians don't. The Greeks were like to the Italians back then, we don't want to claim you guys because you're in fucking Calabria now, you're in Napoli, you're in fucking like, does that make sense, or am I way off the path here?
I think this is the beginning of that. This is the beginning of that whole thing.
Right?
This is the beginning of a new republic being formed, except it's within a country itself. It's just a diaspora.
Right.
You're talking about a diaspora as opposed to
diaspora, however you
yeah, because the Italians couldn't take over all of America like the Greeks took over all of Italy.
Exactly. But the ones who went there stayed there, and they're like, okay, we're Italian now. Yeah, you know, I think there's an area in Calabria that still speaks a little bit of Greek.
There's a Greek amphitheater in the town where my dad's from.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there was influence there, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So like back then, are we seeing the same situation that, you know, again, this whole Italian community is going through, where the Italians in Italy are like, no, we don't claim the Italian Americans. Like, who the fuck's Tommy DeVito?
Buddy, hold on.
What's this guy doing?
2 seconds.
By the way, fuck.
Are we on the same podcast? Because you guys just used some words that I've never even heard before in my fucking life. I saw Grossi's face.
All right, what's going on, folks? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of the Bordello. I'm here live in Toronto with the old boys from Serie A. We've almost got the whole crew back together. Lopopolo's not here, but we've got respectively from right to left, from my right to left, producer Gizmo.
Ciao.
In the Gothenburg hat. Sorry, the Gothenburg jersey. What is that hat? Is that a Swedish hat as well? You went up to your room to get a jersey and you came back down like you were mining.
I'm a Swedish construction worker. My name is Jasper. I do the precious minerals in Sweden.
I think Nema Tavalli Brutsari, who's a friend of the pod, who's an old boy of yours, is snorting Swedish minerals right now. We just heard an audio message from him. We'll play it back in a little bit.
Oh, I hope so.
Bose, what's up? Can I say your full name, or do we just go by Bose?
Whatever you want. Like, how did you? I think you introduced you're like, I said hello, and you're like, call you Boz.
Like, okay. Yeah, right. I know, but we're in a public forum now. Do you?
It's up to you. Yeah.
Oh no, it's really up to you.
I like because my parts of my life that was like who I was around with, like people that I'm very close with. Not many people that I hang out with, like will go that nickname-ish on me, but people who know.
I have you as Bose in my phone,
and I have that like with these guys. I have that
still,
so I kind of like that.
So let's let these people into the inner circle. So we got producer Bose here with us, and Kubani to my right. What's up, bro?
Hello. But hold on, I think the ultimate test is whether you know why he is called Boz.
Because he's the Bosnian.
Wow.
Right?
Then you've earned the right to call him Boz.
Yeah. No, that's why I actually have found it weird, where when I met you face to face, it's one thing if in my phone to identify you, I have you as Bose, because that's how I know you're referred to as.
There you go.
But to then in person say, hey, what's up, fucking Bozzy, it just sounds like a slur a little bit. That's why I asked permission,
No, it's good. You're good.
Fair.
You're clean.
Fair.
Marco the intern, Principe,
What's going
to my
on?
far left, and to my immediate left, Donato G.
That hat is the reason why we don't do a podcast anymore.
It's confirmed.
Dude.
And why is the tech genius that he is?
Can you hear through that?
Makes and breaks in.
Can you hear through the toque that you got on there?
Tak.
You realize today is the hottest day of 2024 in Toronto. Good point. People were wearing shorts.
I got off the plane from Gothenburg. It's very cold there.
Yeah.
Did you? So I'm jealous. You actually went to meet Nema in Gothenburg a few years ago. How did
that
happen?
You want to share your story?
Let's go.
You want to share your story about what happened on the podcast night?
We were opening beers before, and you vaguely alluded to how you wound up lost in a field with him. And he's a favorite of many of the listeners. He's a friend of the show.
What's his handle?
He's a good man. He's my uncle.
What's his handle? what's his handle on
Nema
Tav.
Nema Tavrud.
Listen, if you're not already following Nema, that's a problem. In
Yeah,
the first place.
100%. Yeah, very opinionated, but also
If you are not following him, you've seen him online.
We can.
Regardless, you've seen his rants online about everything.
Yeah, the next time I have him on, we'll talk about Gaza. It'll be it'll be
oh
good.
my god.
And if you
do
know
not-
anything,
Nice,
if you know
conversation.
anything about Nema, he is very punctual.
Test the relationship.
He did not show up to our show that day, and he's never gonna live it down, and that's your fault.
That's right,
So
man.
What did you do?
I want to explain what happened there. I wanted to share my side of the story.
Okay.
So basically, I got to hang out with Nema for like 5 days in Gothenburg. Now you're all pronouncing it Gutenberg, Gothenburg. It's Gothenburg.
Oh.
That's the first thing he said to me. He's like, I was like, yeah, so we're here in Gutenberg. He's like, it's Gothenburg, and make sure you let Kubani know specifically that it's pronounced Gothenburg.
I think he was. That sounds like him. It's pronounced Gothenburg.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You unrefined swine. He sounds kind of British, which is nice. I think he might have been dumbing it down for us because for you guys, because I think it's good. It's the O with the little.
Did he say it with an accent?
No, he said Gothenburg. I mean, it doesn't say it here, but you know.
What did you get up to in Gothenburg, Sweden?
So shout out to his friend Carla. Picked us up in a car. We drove like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
What kind of car was it? Was it a Skoda?
I don't know, man. It was
IKEA?
No, it was like it was a Euro car. I think he assembled it from the IKEA.
Yeah.
IKEA.
Sure,
IKEA.
Sure.
So he got the car from IKEA, and we went to the countryside there. And it was I don't know what accent it is, but it was nice. We basically chilled at like his friend's farm up in the countryside. It was very nice. It's probably not the countryside. It's probably the equivalent from like Toronto to Woodbridge, but what do I know? So we're there hanging out, looking at some of the horses on the field, and then we're just chilling on the farm, having a good time. And then he's like, we can stay here on the farm, and we could call into the show. From here, we could probably like spend the night here, whatever, or we can go back into the city where Nema's flat is. I don't know if I'm revealing too much information, but whatever. Yeah. So, whatever, we're there, and then I'm like, maybe we should go back. Because at the time, I'm thinking, like, I don't know what the internet connection is like. Like, maybe it's better to be in the city instead of in the countryside. Granted, like, better internet connection. I know he's calling in from, like, online, or sometimes we would go in directly, like, on the landline. But anyway, so I'm like, let's just go back to Gothenburg and do the show from in the city.
You're doing Stereo City A that night.
Yeah, like so Swedish time was probably like 2-3 a.m.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we spend the whole day out. Like I get into the train station like late morning, early afternoon, and then he meets me at the train station. We spend all day, all evening hanging out, going to like we went to this amazing I don't know if I can call it Persian restaurant, but the food we had there, fantastic. Yeah, it was really good. And then yeah, man, when we went back to his place, it was like, well, I'm pretty tired. Like I told him, I'm like, should we, like, either we stay up or we take a nap, wake up, set an alarm, and then we'll make it for the pod episode. And then we both just crashed out without, I guess, having an alarm set.
And how old were you? He was basically like your father at that point. I mean, if he's oversleeping, the kid's oversleeping.
And Nema doesn't sleep. If we called him right now, he's awake.
Vampire.
If you message him at 5:30 in the morning, he's awake. You're the only person ever to get him to sleep.
I think
That's another miracle.
He was fucking babysitting you in the fields. He was like, that's it. I'm finally going to get a little shut-eye tonight for the first time in weeks.
I think I was like 20, 21
to
at the
recharge
time.
his batteries.
Shout out Nema Tab.
Who needs Xanax when you
Right
got
here.
Gizmo? You know what I mean?
Dude, I think
Burn you out
Nema,
like a fucking Energizer battery.
Nema's one of the few people in the world where I think are probably chasing that like 20, have done a news hit on every different time zone. Like I think he's getting down that
Hong
territory.
Kong.
He's probably done
Honolulu.
like 17 out of 24 time zones. He's got a couple more to go.
Nigerian
for sure.
news, man. He's always on
He's
Nigerian
definitely
news.
done with Gary Al Smith.
He's done a
That's
buzz,
the Joy
dude.
News for sure.
Has he done Nigerian news?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he was big
Joy
for back
News
in the
for
day.
sure.
What's Nigerian news like?
Or is it Ghana News?
Yo, play the
was
clip.
either
Play the
Ghana or
clip.
was one of the
Ghanaian
two.
news?
One or the other, but Joy News with Gary Al Smith.
Yeah. That was amazing.
I feel like he just gets on. They ask him, Nema, are you gay? He go, are you gay? I just want to confirm.
Why are you gay?
No, that's not what happens.
We got an audio message from
Because,
Nema.
but for context, so you sent that clip of me explaining.
No, I
what-
just said, hey, look who I'm with. I'm with the Stereo City
okay,
boys,
okay.
and obviously you guys go way back. I mean, this is kind of going to be a little bit more of a nostalgic episode for the people that tune in. Obviously, people that like the Bordello are just going to enjoy this.
I love
regular
you,
listeners,
Nema.
and some people will kind of already know you guys because, one of crossover because you guys have been on recently, but
Support Nema stuff too as well. Shout out to the Italian football
yeah,
podcast.
I'm a Patreon subscriber. But no, so what's cool about this is I told you guys this a few months ago when I was on the pod. I think it was like last spring. I used to listen to you guys when I was in college, and you guys, stopped. Your pod is now defunct. And I like to think I'm kind of trying to carry the torch on, but also I don't know that I talk about football enough to.
No.
But,
Watch last 2 episodes.
but I appreciate the cosign, and this is always going to be a cool thing for me to do. So yeah, but again, there are people in the space that have been making stuff happen, that have been filming content, recording shit for a considerable amount of time, and you guys and Nema kind of go way back. It's cool that I kind of know you guys both now. But yeah, so you guys have known each other way before I knew either of you. So I sent him a video of you guys, and here's what he had to say.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous. I wish I was there. Those guys are like the OG of Serie A radio in Canada. When I used to be every week, pretty much every week,
Pretty much.
in Italy and do, cover the games. Oh my God, every single one of them. Marco Cubani, D'Onofrio, Daniel, I can't remember the surname, the Principe brothers, I don't know if Boz is there, Amil Delic, I don't know,
Cover's blown.
What great pronunciation.
whoever's there.
Oh my God.
Please give those guys a big
There's another 2 minutes. Of this.
Oh my God.
every single one of them. I love them. I remember every week they used to do the show.
You hear the guy speaking Swedish in the background?
Yeah,
It's a privilege and an honor.
that's actually
I
my
love
cousin.
those guys. It's
The guy whose identity you stole.
still one of the greatest experiences of my life to be able to chat shit with Daniel. I can't remember his surname.
His surname, he's so polite.
God.
Donato G.
Took him 3 minutes of this little.
I love that you're with them. They are the best people in the world. Coach Frank. Who's the dad of Marco and Adamo? Oh my God. I hope you have the best time ever. I will be listening, as I always do, to your show.
Hopefully he's not mad at us for airing
You
this.
got the Stereo City A guys. They are legends. They are the OG of the Serie A in English podcast. I love these guys.
It was 1 a.m. on Friday, but anyway, we'll...
Un abbraccio forte.
Abbraccio forte.
Braccia.
I love Nema.
Spero che potrei
love Nema.
vedervi tutti un giorno in Canada o Toronto.
Can you imagine if that guy came?
Oh my
Canada?
God, that would be a time.
That guy
He
came
was
to
close to
Toronto?
coming, right?
Yeah.
He was
Dude.
very
Fosse
close.
qualcosa di più forte insieme. Guarda, un abbraccio forte di tutti voi. Ti amo.
Can we get a language
Chiamatu.
count for Nema? Does anybody know how many languages he actually speaks?
Oh, bro.
Persian,
I'm gonna say 7 to 10 languages.
I'm gonna say
Persian,
5 or
Swedish,
6.
English, Italian fluent, and then I think Spanish is pretty good. So there's at least 5, and I think his German may not be bad. So he's one of those classic Euro guys who's got it all. He's a citizen of the world, which Gizmo's becoming a citizen of the world. Gizmo's a recent member, recently appointed member of the
That's
club.
right.
Just became an Italian citizen. And his first order of business is going to be to transfer the citizenship to a Polish girl.
Yeah, you can ring the bell there for
Nice.
me. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we got the
Got the Polish flag up there.
I'm a citizen of the world, so
Do they still draft? Like, could you still get called into the army? Is that still a thing?
I don't know, but
That would be
basically,
hilarious.
I want to say a big thank you to the Italian consulate in Toronto for allowing me to have the citizenship. I've been really...
And to transfer it immediately, laterally,
That's right.
to a
Polish
to
girl.
a lady, to a Polish girl.
That's right, because that's my life now, and I'm very happy. So I got that after like 2-3 years of like administrative bullshit, but I am in the club now, and like we were discussing before. What? Oh, you're looking at the ring? No. In this country, 1 year of cohabitation is common law. All right, so I can do.
I was just asking if you were engaged or not.
No. We're not. We don't.
Look, I'm not trying to throw you under the
you
bus
don't-
here.
If you're asking anyone,
Gizmo
to get
is Swedish.
if you're asking anyone to get engaged to the Polish girl, should be this guy right here. Shout out. That's right.
Again, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus here. Jeez.
What the fuck is going on?
You've been with
What
your
is
girlfriend?
going
Is there a ring in the
on here?
picture? or-
Fucking 6 years, dude.
They got a kid. They're married. They got a kid.
Yeah.
They got a house. They're good.
Respect. But yeah, no. So I
I got no. You're saying I gotta pick up my balls and fucking just make it happen. I gotta,
When you're ready. No pressure.
buddy.
You got time.
How
got
wild?
time.
So we were talking about eugenics before on the pod, or off pod, I guess. I mean, the mics were hot, but I think we're probably not gonna. I don't know. We started a little later. I
the
think.
audio's there if you want.
If you want it, but I
It's
don't
there
know.
in the
Like,
file.
thinking back on it, maybe
No,
you
it's
don't
just-
include
no,
that.
but
I don't know what the hell I was talking
No,
about.
but it is interesting. So you were saying that a bunch of Greeks came to Italy at one point and claimed Greece, and the Greeks kind of,
Maybe again, there's no backup, but
shamed
maybe
them
the
and-
Greeks were like,
What was
"You
the
guys-"
name of the region? I'll look it up.
Yeah, was it like look
much of southern Italy, I
What
think,
is it?
had Greek influence.
M-A-G-N-A?
So
Managgia Grecia.
Yeah,
Oh
something like
yeah, Magna. Oh
Mag-
shit.
yeah.
Shout out to everyone making automotive parts. Okay, Magna Grecia was the name given by the Romans to the Greek-speaking coastal areas of southern Italy in the present-day Italian regions of Calabria, Aquila, Basilicata, Campania,
Puglia.
and Sicily.
Kingdom of
Apulia.
Neapolis.
So I'm a citizen now.
So here's the
I
thing,
should
right?
know that.
So here's the
Yeah.
thing, Gizmo, I love you, but you were saying before, Marco, you were talking about how, it's interesting how now it's like kind of much like the Greeks left Greece for Italy, claimed Greece, and were refuted by the Greeks. You now have a bunch of Italians who left Italy, who have come to North America here, who claim Italy, who are refuted by the Italians and said, and told, do your own thing, but don't cling to this. This ain't your thing anymore. But you still have guys like Gizmo, the Swede, with the Polish flag in his hat right now, who are calling Puglia a Puglia, who have Swedish accents. That's got to be infuriating to them to a certain extent.
It was probably infuriating to the Greeks back then too.
That's my point.
But they'll still take my money if I want to buy a €1 home there.
Yeah, exactly. They'll take all one of your euros.
Yeah.
Would it be fun? You guys are a friend group. Why don't you guys just buy a fucking €1 property?
You know how many times I've pitched this idea to my
God,
family?
you
But
have
do
not.
it, yeah, like in sé, fatelo tutti quanti, like fucking
Everybody,
You
everybody's
split the
here.
euro 7-way, and you split the expenses 7-way.
I've poached that idea out to even my partner's family. We'll leave her name out, but to her family, even in
Yeah, we'll just call
Poland,
her. We'll call her the Polak. You got the flag in.
All right.
In your,
I have put the feelers out there, and that is all. I want to live as a clan, bro. I want everyone to just be hanging out in the same area. Your kids are friends with your cousins. Like everybody chills on this one plot. You watch Subura, right?
I've not seen the show. I saw part of the movie. Right?
Okay, so there's the Zingari, pardon my language, the gypsies that basically all live in a complex, pretty much. So if you go to the house to get
It's
Spadino,
a community.
exactly,
It's a
but
community.
everyone's related. If
you guys
anything's
seen the
gated
show?
off, it's kind of cool.
It's kind of like a gated community.
This sounds like an
And everyone's
episode-
related. Not
Yeah.
Sounds like
bad.
this is going to. This sounds like this is going to be on Behind the Bastards in a couple of years.
Sounds
Great pod. Great pod.
Yes, with the
Scary.
Vince McMahon episode.
That's another story for another day.
Did you read those text messages?
Bro, I talked about it on a podcast.
I know,
It's
I
coming out
heard.
in a few days.
No, I think you tweeted about it, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Did I?
No, you IG'd about it.
Did I
Yeah,
talk
you
about it?
something. You post something.
Why does
Honestly, sorry, I don't know that I talked about it at all. You might be confusing me with someone else. I don't remember having done it. Was I blacked out?
I think you did.
What did I say?
I guess you posted
that's the
something on
problem if
IG.
you don't
The
remember.
picture.
I talked about it on another podcast, which is coming out in a few days. By the time this is out, I think the other pod might already be out. Yeah, I know nothing about wrestling, but that feels kind of on brand. Like the texts are buck wild, but you know, the president of the organization is this like old guy, you know, this old rich billionaire who's on testosterone. It reads like a guy. It doesn't come across
It fits
as
a
nice,
stereotype.
but it fits the image you might have of what that guy would be like when trying to court people.
So you were never a wrestling like fan as a kid.
Yeah.
Never.
That's a shame.
That is it. Because I'll be
Now,
honest.
now this is where it gets interesting, I think, with Vince.
You gotta speak into the mic.
The storytelling. He was going so deep and so detailed. And that's what he did in the WWE and WWF. Like, he just told these crazy stories with all these wrestlers and all these personalities. He's got a crazy mind.
But he put everything out in the open, though. Look at all
I
the
know.
stuff he used to do with, like,
Yeah.
the female wrestlers in the ring so everybody could see it.
Gizmo,
He's just
can we-
playing it off
Can we
as
pull
part
up
of the
text?
act, but he's getting his face, like
messages?
somebody's sitting on his face.
Yeah. Well,
Right? And that's like,
Text messages.
Well, and here's the thing is when you're talking about things like defecation,
yeah, that,
it's not even. I think at that point it's strictly about power. It's not even something that you necessarily enjoy. It's something that I've got so much power and I've gotten away with so much for so long that I can do whatever the hell I want and nobody can stop me.
Brother.
You know what I mean?
If you got a defecation fantasy and you're a married man, you kind of have to, like, out of respect, you have to go extramarital for that. You gotta cheat. It's almost, you know, like it's not nice to have extramarital sexual affairs. But if you're into shitting, you're almost doing your lady a favor at that point. You know, that's the thing. Who knows if it's even true? I mean, the allegations. I mean, you know, the courts of law. I talked about it on another.
Text messages are pretty revealing.
Do you want me to
I mean,
read out
if
what
they're
the
real,
fuck
they're
is-
fucking buck wild, dude. But again, it's like, you know, the one tip of the hat you could give,
Oh,
the
fuck.
sex trafficking allegation, not good. But the one tip of the hat you might be able to give is at least he was doing his wife the courtesy of not even entertaining the prospect of shitting on her chest, unless he floated it and she said,
Well,
no.
in the lawsuit, he fires the girl. He gets her to sign the NDA after his wife found out. So even though him and Linda have apparently been separated for about 20 years, even though they're officially still married,
Yeah.
it was once she had found out that he ended it. Because I guess she didn't want
Got
it
it.
to spread, right?
Listen, I don't even think we got to pull up the text, but basically, I guess I asked you to pull. It's, you know, it's really crude. It's almost it's actually unnecessary. It's just he's going on talking about how he and the guys at the company want to bang this employee. It's fucking buck wild. Now here's my question: if there's one guy in Italian football who owns a club, who's most likely to be sending
Aurelio De
texts like that
Laurentiis.
and taking a dump on women's chests, who do you think it is? Are we going with De Laurentiis?
Aurelio De Laurentiis.
Takes dumps on girls' chests. Wow.
I would like to put it in the next film.
Saputo. We're going with
I don't know.
the
Maybe,
crazy
you know,
Canuck.
Lotito, like, kind of seems a little offside, man. Lotito seems offside.
Lotito would
Lotito's a
take
sick
crazy dumps. Have you seen the size of that guy? His jaws, the jowls on that guy are commensurate with those of a man who's got inflated bowels and a bad colon. He's a senator. You believe that guy's a senator?
Wow.
I mean, you know.
That's this.
What do you got?
No, Carlo Lotito right now. Yeah, no, it's
Claudio?
Yeah,
Claudio
yeah, Claudio. Yeah,
Claudio
Oh,
Lotito
yeah.
looks he's rotund. He looks like a senator.
that'd be heavy.
but you know what's crazy though about the WWE scandal? Look how many wrestlers got kicked out. Like Brock Lesnar's now done with everything. What was he involved in?
Yep.
Right? Like there's so many like backstories and so many
Tip
other
of the
people.
iceberg.
I think
Like
Vince
this
McMahon
is
might
literally
have
the
been picking
this is
people
the
out.
tip
Really,
of the
guys?
iceberg.
This is going
We don't
deeper?
know anything that
big
happened.
time.
Like
No way.
Because think about it. This girl signed a $3 million NDA. There was, I think it was a $6.97 million NDA signed in like 2006. So imagine in 2006 if he's paying that kind
Not
of money.
much. 20 years ago. Pre-Weinstein.
What did he do then?
Pre-Weinstein.
What did he do then? You
And
know what I
the
mean?
crazy
Like,
thing about it
this
too is he
just
did it in
insane.
2019 through 23 allegedly. Some of the texts that got leaked were from 2020.
But-
to fire that off in 2020 is
How you never
crazy,
got
but
into
it's almost like, you know, he might have just gotten cooked up and was like,
But how did you never get into wrestling? I'm 35 and I still love wrestling, man. It's a little bit sick, but
Brother,
Yeah.
I was into stuff that was real. That it was. I don't know.
brother, don't play the real card with me.
I don't know. I could never get. Honestly, like once the blinders got pulled back a little bit when I was like 7-8 years old, and I learned that wrestling, which I didn't watch already at that point, I wasn't like a fan who learned it was fake. I was just a guy who I guess knew that wrestling was a thing that existed, but wasn't a fan. When I found out that it was fake, I was like, oh, I'm never watching this ever. It's
What year were you born?
97.
So when you were about 7, 8, we're talking 2000. So you're talking like the John. That's when it started.
John
going
Cena.
PG, right? Like you missed like the crazy,
The Attitude Era, yeah.
when
all of
Vince
that.
McMahon was like the Vince McMahon we're seeing now.
When Vince McMahon was taking
on
shits
TV.
on chests
Was
in
on-
the locker room.
Like he had the Kiss My Ass Club. Do you remember the Kiss My Ass
Yeah,
Club?
I remember that.
Where he made people kiss his ass.
Wait a minute, you're telling me wrestling is fake? Wait, don't tell Walks with Lenny that wrestling is fake.
Shout out to my
Walks with
boy.
Shout out Walks with Lenny, but
Shout
he
out
is
Walks with
hardcore.
Who's that?
CM Punk is his boy
Whoa.
from Chicago. He will take a bullet for that
So-
man.
Give Sam the backstory on Lenny Clinton.
Who's Lenny Clinton?
He is the
this
Oh,
greatest.
this is all you.
I don't
He is
know.
the greatest dog walker
Yeah.
on the face of this planet.
Is he a local lad?
Chicago
He is
based.
from
Chicago
Chicago.
based, yeah.
He was one of our original guests.
He
We used to have him
was.
on monthly. We used
Okay.
to have the
We had a
dog
whole
of the month
segment.
Dog of the
segment.
month.
We
Yeah.
edited
With
an
Lenny
intro
Clinton.
for him too.
Really?
Yeah, the greatest dog walker of all time, live from Chicago.
Shout out to Bad Dog merch.
But
And
then
you
he-
would never think that a gentleman named Leonard Clinton
Should we be throwing
is a wop. Okay, like he's hardcore Italian, and his
Really?
name's Lenny Clinton.
But we
Okay.
have to cancel.
And shout out to
segment.
his mom,
We-
who we always talked about, who was a lovely lady. Shout out to his mom.
We did have to cancel the segment though when he kept giving the dog of the month to the same person every month. So we're just like, okay, you can't do that.
He would give it to the same dog?
I think he gave it to
same
Allegra. I think he gave it to Allegra every month.
He just
He was a
hated
Juve
Allegri
fan.
all the time. Like,
Oh, okay.
He was a Juve fan.
Okay. I thought he would come out and be like, oh, okay, so the thing
dog
about the
of the month
Lagotto
is this.
Romagnolo
All
is
that.
you could use the Lagotto Romagnolo to find truffles in the field. I thought he was like giving dogs.
Hold on,
I
can-
wish.
Can we get a,
Actual dogs as dog of the month.
can we get a status update? on this
like a
cake?
dog, like a DAWG.
I don't know.
Has this cake arrived? Has your cake arrived?
Has the cake arrived? I don't know. We ordered a cake from Walmart. They tried to upsell me bananas on Uber Eats when I ordered it.
Welcome to Toronto.
Rossi, it's so great to have you here and not be fucking dying like last time.
Last time I was
Yeah.
in my
Dog
basement, I was trying to be quiet.
I listened to
My
it all,
kids,
man.
They were sleeping. I was tired. We were trying to talk about the Waterloo story, and we couldn't
Yeah.
get into it.
What was the Waterloo
There was
story
too
again?
many.
What do you
We're not
mean?
gonna
What's
get
the-
into it today either. 'Cause there's too many years. We talked about
What
this.
does that mean? There was too many years. It
Off
means
pod.
Off pod, I will
Off
share
pod.
everything about the loot.
the statute of limitations hasn't passed
Statute of
yet.
limitations is gonna pass in a couple years.
Really? Legally, the statute of limitations.
He might have
was
signed.
there.
He might have signed a couple of NDAs. So
Kubo
we
was
gotta be
there.
careful about it. We gotta be careful.
Shout out to Joe Maleka who was there.
Shout
Shout out
out.
to Joe.
Who used to be on this
Fresh
show
one.
before I was on this show and anyone else was on this show. The Fresh Five. Yeah, and that was the exact intro to it.
Yeah.
You didn't know about the Fresh Five?
I did not know. This is news to me.
Just like that. That's how it went. The Fresh Five.
Ba-dun-dun-dun. Ba-dun-dun-dun.
Moses
This
told
is
me
when
to
these
go into
guys
the
were still in
recording booth
college,
one
bro.
day, and I must have I didn't have a voice when I was done. I just kept saying "fresh," and then he just
To what end? What was the move there? What was the play?
the theme song for Joe Fresh.
And you would sing it yourself a cappella?
well,
Oh, yeah.
well, we recorded it once, and then Bozy kind of mixed
Mixed
it
it.
all together, and magic happened.
They had you in the studio.
That was the fresh segment.
Yeah, the A&R man in the studio had
Oh,
you
yeah.
just playing it back again. And Bose was like
Yeah.
whipping you.
Roll the
into
tape,
shape.
roll the tape.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
The community radio station got tape in the
We
bag.
used to do a show in that dungeon, and it was like 1,000 degrees inside there. And that one guy that worked there, God bless him. That smell
He was a lovely
bad.
man, but he smelled
Lovely
very
man.
bad.
That was bad.
Kirby.
Shout out to Kirby, legend.
Yeah.
What was his show called?
Jazz Gumbo.
Kirby Obsidian.
Jazz Gumbo.
Jazz
Gumbo.
Gumbo.
Cosmic Kirby.
Bro, he was Cosmic Kirby,
This guy
man.
was a space cadet.
Broad and Vinyls had a great collection.
Yeah,
really
for
did.
real.
Solid collection of
And he
week
was committed.
He was committed to the
Week
game.
in, week out, that guy was there. just playing jazz music for people on the airways.
And who knew how many listeners he had? I don't think he had like any tracking of it. He just is like
he had a blog spot.
Yeah.
For the
We
time
obviously
being.
had more listeners because
I would like to think.
we gave some
was he-
content that was real and
Was he
people
Eastern
can relate to
European,
it.
Kirby? Was he?
Oh no!
Is
no.
Polak a slur, by the way, or is it an appropriate term?
You can ask her. I don't know.
I do believe it's offensive.
Is it really?
No, I don't know.
Because I tweeted it one time. I remember.
I don't
tweeted
say
it from the
it.
Stereo Serie A account.
I
it was
think
Miller.
I think
Yeah,
it's better.
somebody-
to
Millet scored, and you're like that.
Somebody
Hold
somebody
on.
commented.
Yeah.
We apologized, but it
think
was not offensive
think
in
the
it wasn't in an
I think you're
offensive way.
supposed to say Pole.
Yeah, Paul.
Oh, you're a
Pole.
You're a Pole.
I think.
But that sounds worse.
Pol- I think you're right.
Okay.
It is Paul.
I'm going to
Polak
Poland
sounds ethnic, like it's
in
Eastern.
September.
Yeah, the Polak people. You're the Polak people.
I
It
can
sounds-
ask real Polish people. I'll be there in September, and then I'll let you know.
Where are you going?
We are flying into Warsaw, Warszawa,
Nice.
and then we're going up to Gdańsk, and then down to Kraków, over to Rzeszów,
If you ask them,
Zakopane,
Oh,
Czertes,
Yeah.
back to Warszawa,
All the deep cuts.
Warszawa.
These
and
sound
then-
like all Europa League clubs. man.
Yeah. So
That was a good segment,
I'm
too.
I'm
Europa
my
League
hotel.
club?
Well, is it Gulagi Gashgush or is
Europa
Lazio
League
playing
club or made up name?
Oh, that was a fun set.
That
Is
was a
Lazio playing ZI Wargem or Gulagi Gashgush?
Gizmo, if you went there and asked them, can I
So
call you
good.
guys Polacks? They'd be like, "Be man, I don't care." Like, what do you?
No,
like,
but no, exactly,
They'd
and
be
that's
like,
why I
what are
love
you
the-
doing? Yeah, it's Polska. Yes, Polak. Yeah,
I love the culture for that. I cannot wait to be immersed in it. But
Yeah.
I will. You know what? We'll put it on hold. We'll refer to them as Poles, and then I'll let you know.
okay.
I'll let you know, man.
Fall pod.
Fall pod, come back.
Fall pod,
The TO.
brother.
It's nice in the fall time.
He's got to get a new car first.
I'm devastated.
You went to
dude.
Crappy Tire, man.
I'm devastated. I might need to get a new car. I really am gonna miss having a piece of shit that you could just beat into the ground.
Yeah.
There's something so romantic about it.
It's the innocence of it all.
I know.
You should- Kuba drove an Acura.
That's what we were talking
In-
about.
in- Integra?
Was
Yeah, up until last year or 2 years ago.
How many? He put a lot of clicks on that
Yeah,
sucker.
man.
I got the engine light on my Batmobile
My
the
life
other day.
flashed before my eyes
in that car.
in that car multiple
never-
times.
My life has
I
flashed
never had
before
a
my eyes a
Volvo
few times,
in
brother. In
Kuba's
the fucking
Acura. We drove through Forest Hill, which is the very nice area of Toronto where Drake is from. And I just remember we got a few dirty looks, but we got to the show. I remember I drove to Kuba's place on the north end of Toronto, and we drove all the way to Regent Park. Good times.
Why don't you just give out everybody's address today?
Yeah.
And their social insurance
the
number,
north end
and
of Toronto is so broad.
there's gonna be 1,000 people in front of
the only
Nema's
thing you
door.
haven't divulged is your
And he's gonna
girlfriend's
wonder
name.
why,
Not
and
doing that.
they're
Says
gonna
the
say,
girl.
We're
I
not
just
doing
thank
that.
you.
Is
Thank you.
the Polak. This can't even. It's the only thing that's anonymous right now is her name. I almost called her. I almost called her by her first name. Is so and so's name. Yeah, Brittany's name. It's not Brittany, but it's a
It's
beautiful.
Brittany, bitch.
It's a beautiful setup in here, man. This looks like this room looks
I can tell you
like
the
it was
love
set
it.
in
the
time.
history. So this room was probably painted in 1975 when the house was purchased. This
This
house
is your
was-
uncle's house.
Yes, this is my uncle's house. It's in Polish. It's wujek.
Wujek.
Yeah, wujek, and this was his parents' house. They grew up here, and they passed. And then after they passed, he.
Is it your uncle's house, or is it, I'm gonna start calling her the lovely lady because I can't keep.
It's
If
the
we're not gonna
lo-
call her
it's
by
the
name, I'm not gonna keep calling her
lo-
the Pole. Yeah, it's feeling important. Is it the lovely lady's uncle's house?
Yes.
Okay. There,
But
there.
I'm in the family now, so
Right,
it's-
right,
yeah,
right.
So
Well, hold on. Where's the ring then?
"That's September."
Hold
Kuba.
on, hold on.
Oh.
I've graduated.
That's
That's a good question.
My
too,
grandmothers
yeah.
are dead.
Oh.
My grandmothers are both passed away in recent years, and I've now graduated to calling my girlfriend's grandmother. Wait, no.
wait,
no.
no.
Yeah, nonna. Wait,
Yeah.
no. I call her.
Do that.
I
wait,
call
I don't
my-
like calling her by
Is she
name.
Perez?
No, she's
That's
Calabrese.
my wife. They go. They do the way ma or the way no.
That's
They
just,
do-
that's just me. No, it's
that's,
just, no. You know what it is? It's me being a coward and not wanting to call her. No, nah. It's too much. So,
bro.
so I cut it off. I go, wait, no. Like I'm ashamed. I go, wait, no. Wait, I don't
just
know.
say-
But it's a respect thing because I call her grandmother Babcha because that's what they call her.
Because you're a good person.
It's Babcha, but that's
But
her name.
I'm with Kuba.
You don't call her.
I don't do that.
No, I could. I call her
Yeah.
Babcha because she's my Babcha now. Because
I have maybe called my father-in-law by his name 3 times, and I've known my wife for 13 years.
What do you call him? Pa?
Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
No, I don't like. I swear to God,
Hey, how
not
are
even
ya?
because I'm being rude.
Confirmed.
Yeah, he says Literally, when I asked my father-in-law's permission for my wife's hand, I said his name. Shout out to Amadeo.
Nice.
Good guy.
Respect.
And I said his name then when I first met him, and maybe another time.
Tell a story where you punched him.
You
punched him in the
by
face.
accident. Yeah, the first time I ever met my father-in-law,
Really?
by accident, I
Doesn't
hit
sound
him
like
in
an
the face.
accident, remember? But
Yeah.
Sounds like you're just asserting
I said it in my
dominance.
speech. You guys were there at my wedding. I said it in my speech.
I actually have the clip from your priest. I'll get that
Yeah,
later.
just say you have the priest.
Yeah, I have the priest.
that guy was amazing.
You blackmailing him with it?
You saw him at another event.
Yes, I did.
You saw him at
Oh.
another.
Whose wedding
What
was it?
priest tape do you have?
Oh, so
Donato, he was like from somewhere in Africa. I don't want to
He
say
was
Nigerian.
he was Nigerian.
Okay, thank God.
But
He goes,
okay, so
Donato, I want to
he-
make sure you're not gay.
Yeah.
He was he was a priest at our church. He was
Always
a
love the
lawyer.
Africans
He was
who
a
are doing
lawyer
a
back
sabbatical.
home. He
I was-
represented the government in some massive case, and he won the case. This guy was smart as hell.
Which
like-
government?
Tough like concrete.
The government of...
Like his Nigerian government, like he represented them in some like I don't know what case
Shout
he was
out
telling
AFCON
us,
final.
and he
You were married by a guy who repped the federal Nigerian government in a case
yeah
against
part
who?
of- was
against
part
who, the
of-
people of Nigeria?
was part of like literally the group of lawyers that represented the government.
Do you think he's gonna watch the game on Sunday?
100% he was.
Where's he gonna watch it?
Streaming
I
it
don't
in
know
the
where.
church, bro.
Well, all I know is that guy loves me.
Did you guys watch
That's
the
all I'm
AFCON
gonna say.
semifinals the other day? Did you
I
guys
did.
see what happened?
Okay, wait a minute.
With Ozzy
Brother.
Yeah, what's going on here? I'm not trying to be a Napoli hater, but what's this guy doing on the bench? And you're not even subbed off.
Who?
Osimhen. What are you doing?
What are you talking about?
Did you see that Nigeria was playing with a man down because he was sitting on the bench, but you know he didn't get subbed off?
Oh, I
Oh,
saw
no, he
that.
did get subbed off.
No, he didn't. He was supposed to
No,
play.
he's talking about another clip.
In the semifinals?
What's going on here? Honest to God, this is a gong show.
Are you offended by how the
I
Nigerian
am
football manager
offended.
is running the team?
Should be his priest.
Let's fucking talk about
Seriously.
Spalletti, dude. We got a Euro coming up. You're gonna be, the Nigerian guy. He's got a golden generation. He's fucking it up.
true.
Who cares?
he's in
Who
an
cares,
AFCON
dude?
final.
Who cares?
And Italy got screwed, by the way, by this Nations League group. I think the Nations League is a joke. I think it's glorified friendlies, and I always have, and I always will. But we got paired with Belgium and France, and we won the Euros. Like, come on, what kind of nonsense is this?
We got to stop playing that Euro card at one point, dude. We're not even gonna be defending
No, I
champions
get
by
it.
that point.
I get it.
Unless we win
but
again and-
what do you get from like France won the Nations League?
So what do you
2
suggest?
years
What do you
ago?
suggest? What do you
So
suggest?
what did they get?
What
They
do you
got
suggest?
nothing. They got paired in the hardest group. This Nations League's a joke. It's just there for money. Guys get hurt all the time. Just abolish it. It's complete nonsense.
You wanted a Grossi red live.
Kubani,
It's
what say you?
complete nonsense. It's just there for money. Can you imagine your team makes the Champions League finals, and 2 weeks before your striker or the best player on your team tears his ACL because of some stupid Nations League game?
Terrible.
Yeah,
Like
bro.
your whole the biggest game in your club's history is gonna get ruined because some nonno in Italy has to watch Italy play in some Nations League third place game. No, that's crap.
It's insane how strongly you feel about this.
I've said this Nations League stuff is garbage from day one. If we were still doing this show, I would have my segment that I normally did, and I would go on a rant. No, I can't.
You just did.
To that rant, we used to put like a church choir over it because it was the gospel according to Grossi.
I go to church every Sunday.
What's the, do you really?
I do.
You still? Because of the
I
kids?
still do. I do. You might not think it.
He prays
by the
for
way I
all of
talk,
us.
But I do. Me and my
Respect,
family
bro.
go to church every Sunday, 9 o'clock, 9 a.m.
See, was a churchgoer. Yeah, it's fair.
They used to all laugh at me.
Respect.
How far is it from your house?
11 minutes
Drive or walk?
drive,
Okay.
Local church guy. No, it's,
Okay.
and then I bring my son for hot chocolate.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
when your kid graduates, when he's 12, 13, and gets confirmed, you still gonna keep going to church?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a daughter too, so we gotta
Okay.
bring church.
When
And
all the kids are done, you
when
still-
all done, yeah, probably me and my wife will go to church though.
You'll
Nice,
still go to.
nice.
Okay, so you won't. That's the fun thing.
Was your
is
wife
when
going
you-
to church prior to you guys getting married? On the regs or not on the regs?
Not on the regular.
All right.
So what made you church people?
God, bro.
Me, I guess.
But you always went to church?
I did not go to church always until
Before
I'm
or
gonna
after
say,
Waterloo?
like 2015.
And what possessed
Seriously,
you?
I started going to church.
Well, what made you start going to church?
Well, I first started going to church
Jordan Peterson.
because we needed to.
That
We
was-
also
that
needed
was
to
before
get a
him.
priest letter to be a teacher,
Yeah.
and then I
Good point.
stayed. I just kept going to church.
Well, you are with the Catholic board. So
He
that
committed
makes-
to the bit.
You know what? You know what it is? You know what?
I did commit, which is why I stopped swearing and stuff like that on our radio show when it was uncensored. Yeah, I stopped
Okay.
I don't remember.
Not
that.
totally.
on
Not
the
totally.
show. On the show, guys.
He used to show this is a family show, but I think he was trying to remind
he was
himself.
it.
I used to try to
He
convince
was trying to remind
myself.
himself.
Intern.
I'm like, what did
When Kubo used to go off about Wanda Nada, that was definitely not a thing.
What was your beef with her?
She's back.
She looks
No,
good
I,
now.
I didn't have beef with Wanda.
She looks good now. She
No,
got her lip
Kuba-
I thought she,
had
elongated.
beef
I
with
thought
Wanda.
she was.
She got her lip
oasis.
elongated. Her breasts somehow look more full, and they were natural before. And she's got like a larger lip. Her whole look. She's pouting now.
She's a Zorka. Oh my god.
Is
That's
that-
a church. That's a church going man right there, brother.
That's a
Marco,
church-going
when you
man.
got married recently, did you feel compelled to keep going to church?
I
Because here's the thing.
You
I want to
didn't
hear
go
what
to
you have to
church.
say about this, but here's just to personalize this. I can imagine that in a few years, if I'm going to get married and go through that whole process, and I'm pretty convinced that the priest is one of the good ones, let's say. I guess you never really know, but you get a read, right? And you're like, you know what? I think this guy's in it for the right reasons. Maybe he rubs one out to normal adult porn in private, but, or doesn't at all. But I don't know if I believe that no one is ever able to really, if you're able to forego that forever. But if I'm like, you know what, he's got demons, he's more of a bro. He's like, yeah, man, I'm a little tempted. Listen, I try to keep the demons at bay. I'd be like, hey, this guy's real. I'm not weirded out by him. I could see myself getting guilted into maybe going and being like, yeah, this is a good thing. Maybe the institution is what it is, but it's a nice thing.
I feel like if you have a good priest,
I feel like I could get like shamed into
you
it.
could
Like
get
I would
behind
feel
that.
bad.
Like I know the priest at my wedding, him and Gizmo hit it off over there. They were.
Oh, really?
They were talking about because.
What do you mean hit it off?
Yeah.
Phrases. They were having some great.
Both behind the ones and twos.
Great conversations about.
He was an architect formerly.
Yeah, he actually built the
and we
church.
were talking.
That's that guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we were talking about
Lovely
manufacturing
church.
processes, like how to chrome a piece of steel and stuff. Yeah, it
Oh.
was very cool.
He was telling me how he rebuilt like classic cars. And
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and
very,
that's
very
what he
cool
used
guy.
to
That's a dude.
So
That's a
he was
priest.
cool. He was really cool, and I know Boz gave some good praise about the whole service itself. And,
carpentry is
I mean,
beautiful.
the church is really, really nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, if I'm going to that church, it's like, yeah, I'd go every week to
They
that
need a
church.
rebrand. Yeah, they need a big fucking major rebrand.
They have some of the best art in the world, man. In the church, they got to do something with that.
Dude,
You know what it is,
You
man?
wanna
The
bring
church.
more-
You're a priest. I would go to that church once in a while. I'm like, yo, this guy. Look, it's his
I'm
voice.
not even Catholic.
Yeah, I'm not even Catholic, and I just listen to him like, yo,
Sam,
dude.
if I send you that clip, will you put it in the show?
Which clip?
The one of Grassi's priest.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, I'll-
absolutely. Yeah. Please.
I'll get you some sound bites.
Grassi's face looks a little concerned.
You know what it is, man?
Don't tag me.
Donato
Much like
Maria.
Italian football.
Maria.
Donato Maria.
Much like Italian football, I think the church needs a major rebrand and needs to kind of.
The church needs a podcast.
Can you imagine, dude?
But how do you
Papa
rebrand?
Francesco
If you're a church,
From the
how
basement.
do you rebrand a religion?
from the Vatican.
I think
basement, bro.
listen. I think for the longest time, a lot of the priests, a lot of the people that would go into the priesthood, a lot of the people that would go into the clergy were like the pariahs of the family who people thought were a little weird, right? Because if
Yeah.
you were a homosexual and you didn't want to marry women, right? Because you just maybe had it innately in you. You're like, I don't know, I'm attracted to men. I don't want to marry a woman. Well, what do I have that's socially acceptable? Fuck it, I'll become a priest. No one will look at me weird. I don't have to, marry and right. I think that's a thing that happens is over time. Because think about how many families used to be faced with that dilemma, right? Like if you'd have like families of 12, the odds that you might have a kid who's just a fuck up. It doesn't have to be a case of him not wanting to get married. It could just be this guy's a fuck up. He's partying too hard. Let's send him to the clergy. I think you'd have a lot of wild boys and a lot of weirdos that would go into the church.
That's exactly what they did with
that's what they
trade
did.
school in Canada.
the same
The
thing.
bell.
Yeah, I'll ring the bell to that.
If you were a low student, they would put you in the trades. They'd be like, he doesn't pay
It's kind of
attention in
it's
class.
kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Let him fucking do carpentry.
And I don't know if maybe that culture kind of just has lived on, but it feels like a lot of the people that go into priesthood are just kind of nerds. You don't have a lot of cool regular dudes who are like, yeah, man, I'm enlightened. It's almost like they just need to like take mushrooms more. They're like, yeah, man, I'm one with Jesus. Jesus was a good guy. I'm just, I'm going about the way. And maybe there are some rules that he breaks. Maybe he bones.
Don't we all?
Or maybe he just bones and has a private family, like back in the Middle Ages. I don't know that
Aren't
they were
we all a
diddling in
little
like
bit
the
flawed?
Renaissance. I think they would just have kids, and then they changed the rules, and then it got weird. But they could do well to rebrand. They could do well, like Italian football, to fucking, I don't know, have a service
Bring some women in
where
as well
everyone
to the
is able
clergy.
to. Well, just modernize, just in the eyes of the
little bit.
neutral, like be less, off put by the priest and by Italian football at large. I think people like the charm of it, and people feel like a nostalgia to it. They're like, yeah, I got confirmed. I'll keep going to church once in a while for Easter, maybe. Italian football is this thing I grew up with. It's got a charm to it. It's old. They've got like the stained glass windows. It looks nice. It's aesthetic, but it's not really all that new age. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know, man.
With really good tracks and decrepit bathrooms and
It's part of the charm. People do
yeah.
like it, but it could do well to just revamp. It's not going to happen with guys like De Laurentiis around, though. Well, right? Like, as long as guys like that are in the game, it's just not going to go away. But also, like,
But what is the next generation thing too?
that's the thing. Is it going to be foreigners that come in and just run it like businesses, or is it going to be more Italian? Italian
I
business
think
guys?
so.
It could be more Italian business guys, and some of them might be new age. Looking to go public, own their own stadiums, but that's boring. I like that De Laurentiis last week it got leaked that he like ran into the locker room and told Rudy Garcia to go fuck himself before he fired him.
Can't make that up. See,
that's drama. Give them a Netflix series.
here's my thing though.
Thank you. No, but give Napoli a Netflix series.
Yeah, well, that would.
Can you imagine?
I don't want to imagine, to be honest.
It's
But
happening in real life. It's a soap opera anyway.
but-
Just if I can throw a camera in there.
here's my thing though. Realistically, would you want these characters that we said, the De Laurentiis, the Lotitos, all of that, where you're kind of limited in terms of finances, what your club can do, purchase, whatnot, but there's the character to that club. There's a face of that club. Or would you rather your club be bought out by the PIF, right, by the Saudi Arabians?
The first one.
Where you have unlimited money,
The first one.
but you don't have a face. You don't have that, you know what I mean? Like,
You got to decide if you want to sell your soul or not. That's all it is.
I wouldn't want to be a Newcastle United. You know what I mean? Like,
They're very happy to be.
yeah, I get it. They've got all this money coming in, but like, I feel like your soul.
It's got to be brand safe, Like,
You know,
Juve are well run. They were actually poorly run for a couple of years, but, professionally run, fucking white collar organization.
When they had Beppe Marotta, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but just the idea of being run by the Agnelli family, the guys who own Fiat, industrialist,
Ferrari,
clean
yeah.
city, on brand safe. Napoli is chaotic, but it's brand safe. It's on brand. It works. It's got to work with the brand.
Why'd you look at me as like we're brand safe, like I'm the ambassador?
No, I'm just
about branding or something.
I'm pontificating.
Brand safe. You know about brands.
He's keeping you involved with
Well, if we gotta compare brothers on brand, one is brand safe, and one is
one just.
The other one's going to Poland in the fall. He's a little bit of a
The
wild
thing is,
boy.
the way
Have you seen Peaky Blinders?
I have.
Do you know when Tommy says, "I need two sons, one for the light and one for the dark"? There you go.
That's fucking, yeah, bro.
the thing is the way footy's going though, you
Good
kind of
night.
option 2 isn't bad though.
I get it.
Right, the
I
way
know.
it's going, like
Get it.
you wouldn't want somebody like the people who own Newcastle to come. I would love for them to buy Juve. I'll tell you right now. And if that's like
absolutely.
selling your soul, quote unquote, well, that's the way
bad.
football is. That's the way sports is,
But
right?
it depends where the money's coming
And
from.
I think we
Obviously, you want everything to be clean, but is anything in sports clean?
please.
Nothing
You
is
want-
nothing is clean. Nothing
exactly.
even in
Yeah.
North American sports, like
Clean. Give me a break.
nothing is clean, right? So
If you want things to be clean, you have to go back to like 1920s,
even then-
1930. Exactly.
Oh, but even then, it was even worse.
What do you?
There
I
you
don't
go.
know, man.
worse, right?
Italy's first two
think there
World
was-
Cups with
I think the
Mussolini.
further back,
Mussolini famously said, "If we don't win, I'm not handing the trophy to the winner."
Hey, don't open the door. Don't open the door, okay? Don't open the door.
So-
no, we
Could you imagine your prime minister
bus.
walking
Close the
into the
door.
change
we
room
talked
and
about
going, "If
Mussolini
you
on the
don't
pod
win, you
last
die."
week. We got our fix recently.
Okay.
We've kind of we've done the deep dive.
But like,
A
I
member
will
of my
guarantee
family once said
if
Il Duce
Roma,
was always a
who is-
gentleman.
Sorry, we got two guys talking. Sorry, no.
If-
What's up, Gizmo? What did your family members say?
Il Duce was always a gentleman.
Right. I had a guy in my father's town in southern Italy, okay, which I mean, if there's one place that if you live in Italy and not think this is a great fucking place that I should be proud of and want to protect at all costs, it's fucking rural Calabria, okay? There's a kid in that town who goes, guarda, compa, io sono per il duce. Openly, he's like, look, I understand it, but I'm for him. I'm pro him. So take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. I just always stuck with me. Sorry, carry on.
That company that wants to buy Roma, and I'm not saying that their current owners don't have
the
cash,
Saudi investment fund.
but if
or
that
something.
investment fund, who also owns Newcastle,
Brother, new Roman Empire, not
If
to
they
sound,
buy
not to sound
Rome-
fascist on us,
okay,
but that,
if they
that's
buy
fucking
Roma,
nice.
I guarantee they're winning the Scudetto within the next 5 years.
But isn't that kind of cool, dude?
They are
That
going
is
to
cool.
invest so
Very
much
cool.
money into them. I guarantee that they're going to win the
Are
title.
they
build
going to
the
get the
team up?
Undertaker to hand them the trophy?
Yeah.
That's the real
Probably.
question.
If the price is right, bro.
He's gonna fucking tombstone Tommaso Baldanzi and the Scudetto's gonna pop out of the floor.
No, if you're doing Rome, you've got to bring out like some old school. You've got to bust out
Bruno Conti.
Santino Morella or some
Guy
shit
has a
like
gym down the street here on Lakeshore.
Hey, we're not on Lakeshore right now.
Hey. Okay, so I've been thinking a lot about this because I'm starting to kind of think about how do you bring people closer, and what Netflix is doing is pretty sick. Here in this circle, if you guys could do like one season of following Serie A for Netflix, what season would it be? Would it be like how deep you're going? Because I got
What
my like
year? What
yeah,
year?
I've got my generation where like I was like 6 years in hard.
German Dennis at Atalanta. That's
Yeah.
I would want 03. I would want 03, 04. Like yeah,
When the final was
Juve
Milan,
Milan.
yeah.
Yeah.
03,
Maldini's still
04.
there.
Wow.
Kaká coming in.
Zambrotta.
Yeah.
Guys like that. Yeah, still kicking around.
Cannavaro? Where was he? No, I don't think he was. But yeah, I
Not
don't know.
at that time.
I'd like to see Buffon behind the scenes, but in 03, uncensored. So like HBO 24/7 style.
Yeah.
Not 2020s.
How old was
Amazon all or nothing type of thing where they kind of diluted a little bit.
how old was he in 03? Was he like 46 or?
Buffon was born in 1975, I think.
He'd have been he was like 26 years old. He'd been around for like fucking 10 years already though. He got into it so early. And he was just a madman, bro. I would love to have seen like him behind the scenes. That old. But I don't know. Those are the guys. Honestly, you know what? I take it back. I would have wanted to see fucking something in the 70s.
Yeah.
You think Vince McMahon shitting on people's chests is bad? Dude,
No.
wait till you see what fucking Gigi Riva was getting up to in Calgary in 1975.
That would be a 6th season.
Come on, brother. Gianni Rivera playing with Milan, a gentleman going out in a suit in a nightclub.
Dude,
Following him around.
That would cost so much back then just to shoot on
1978
film.
Buffon.
Raffaella,
Oh
what's
my
her name?
God.
That blonde lady who died a few years ago. Raffaella Cara comes into the Napoli changing room in 1977 to blow, I don't know,
Oh, you have to do
whatever.
a season
Carrera.
that
Ciro Ferrara.
you
No,
have to have a season that has
he wasn't around in the 70s.
Maradona at Napoli. That has to be one of the years. I would love to see behind the scenes when all those things were happening. When in Italy, we just recently came out with Gary Neville talking about the doping in Italy in the 90s and early 2000s. We all saw and we all heard about the stuff that was going on at Juve. We saw the images of Cannavaro getting that drip before the UEFA Cup finals
The
at
same
the
thing
time.
Joe Rogan does.
I'm going to pull something up here.
But like if let's just say they followed Juve in 97, 98
Crazy.
behind the scenes, are you gonna see like syringes and stuff? Is all that shit real?
brother. It was
Right? Is all that stuff real, or
like
is
wanna
a
know how-
WWF locker room.
You want to know how deep the rabbit hole goes?
or is that because like there's all these
they got-
stories and there's all this stuff.
Netflix.
Yeah, buddy. Genius move for them.
I would love a behind the scenes look at that, but you know what we're gonna get next is gonna be like just all or nothing Italy Nations League campaign. That's
Totally
they're gonna
pointless,
I gotta watch
they're gonna go behind the
Bordello.
scenes for all 5 games of the Nations League. That'd be pretty electric, dude. Going to Israel though, that'd be it'd be a fun year for it. To be fair,
Oh, jeez.
following the Israeli national team. Can you imagine if they make the Euro? That'd be a fun team to just be behind the scenes at, just to see the shit that they're probably going
Israeli
through,
guy
having
scored
stuff
for
launched at them
Salernitana
because
today.
it's gonna be bad in Germany. If the Israeli national team, bro, makes the fucking Euro, okay, in Germany, the same place where that assassination attempt occurred in like the 1970 Munich Olympics.
Yeah.
We're gonna see that again, dude. It's gonna be fucking bad. The level of security they're gonna have. I mean, the social unrest, the outrage. That'd be a fun thing.
Can
to
I
look
share
at
some
behind the scenes.
information?
But
with
I like
you
to see the
on,
world burn. So I'm.
Salernitana Empoli finished 3-1 for Empoli
When today?
today.
Thank you
and
for breaking that news.
the goal from Salernitana was scored by Weissman, Sean Weissman, an Israeli, playing for Salernitana.
Oh,
You see who the Salernitana center back pairing is?
Manolas.
He sounds like an
and
NHLPA lawyer.
Jerome Boateng. Yeah.
Sean Wiseman. He sounds like an NHLPA agent. He sounds like a player's agent. Sean Wiseman.
Sean Wiseman scored for
CAA.
There you
Salernitana
go.
today in the
He
69th
also got
minute.
Matthews' deal here in Toronto, so
Yeah.
I mean, he does both.
Yeah, double duty.
Brother, I don't know, man. I think the Nations
That's
League is a fun
crazy.
thing, bro. I can't believe you're that aggrieved by the Nations League.
I think it's a joke. Yeah.
How did we even get onto that?
I think it's a massive joke. That's just me. And now like every.
No, but it was like almost unprompted. You were just like, by the way, I got an axe to grind.
Yeah.
As soon as
The
you said
Nations-
Nations League, he's been pent up
Oh,
for
yeah.
like 5-6 years.
Too many leagues.
Yes.
Too many leagues.
Yeah.
Man.
Isn't it better than the friendlies? The
I
friendlies
think
fucking
it's-
suck,
I think
dude.
it's
At least
too
it's
many
something to play
games.
for.
No,
Why do you have
but
either?
the friendlies have a purpose.
Why do you have
because
either
get
so that
to
we can watch
experiment.
international football? What, you just gonna have tournaments
But
and
why?
roll the dice every
but
fucking
what
time you
pisses
want?
me off is every year.
Not
Serie-
every game needs to matter.
But every year, Serie A starts within the first 2 weeks. There's a fucking international.
There's
break.
international
a real momentum
September,
killer.
in
You know what I mean?
October,
It's like, bro.
then there's a break in November, then we go back in February, then there's 2 games in March.
It would almost be nice if they had the mid-season to break the season up a little bit instead of as we're getting
But the
into
thing
the
is,
flow.
Or have like exactly.
Yeah.
And have like
Agreed.
almost like a mint. You want to do the
Or at the end when they're dead. You know,
Like
Alexis
what the NBA
Sanchez
did.
went 8-9 years I think in a row without getting a summer break because he was playing the
Yeah.
World Cup, the Copa America
America
Centenario,
Yeah.
the fucking World Cup again. Yeah.
The NBA had that in-season tournament, right?
Yeah.
Inaugural tournament. It was fun, but it was regular
Lakers
games.
won.
Lakers won. Shout out to the Lakers. They
their
won.
own version of the Coppa Italia.
But it was regular season games that counted for a tournament, right? Why do we have the Nations League when we already have the Euro Cup? What's the difference?
Well, your beat before was that they're in a group with France and Belgium, as if to
But
say
that too.
you're like aggrieved by it and they should be in a weaker group. So what?
The
They
thing
could
is, though,
win
but
it. I mean,
winning,
do you care about it or do
winning
you
the
not?
Euro or winning the Nations League is supposed to help you in the Euro Cup, right? So Portugal won the Nations League,
But
and
you
then they were
qualify
and
for
then
it?
they were in the hardest group in Euros. Say, France wins the Nations League, then look at their group
Do
in the
you
Euro.
celebrate a Nations League win?
No,
You
I'm
have a
not
cigarette.
going to
You light a
St. Clair.
cigarette up.
I am not going to St.
Yeah.
Clair to celebrate this win. And we won Euros. We were all there. We won the World Cup, even though we weren't doing a show together.
You light up a
We
joint.
went to St. Clair. We went to College Street. We went to wherever.
Oh yeah.
We win the Nations League.
Market
You light up a
Lane.
do. You order a pizza.
I'm gonna go.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
regular
walk to the
Friday
park
night.
with my son. Like I'm not gonna do nothing. Okay, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my evening because this is stupid. Literally, the Nations League winners have all been the teams that won the Euros. France, right? Spain,
What are you saying,
Portugal.
Rossi?
So it's literally the exact same winners. We
Rossi, are you
proved
saying that you're not a
nothing.
fan of how commercialized FIFA is making
I am-
international
I am
soccer
not.
and
It's-
expanding to the 48 World Cup teams and interviewing
Oh, yeah.
Drake
However-
and Kim Kardashian when unveiling the World Cup host cities? You're saying you're not a fan of that?
Does she even know what the World Cup is?
It's crazy, dude. Fucking Gianni Infantino was twerking for Kim Kardashian. Like in his caption, he's like, "Kim, yes, we're very excited to have you here. Very exciting things coming." It's like, bro, fucking 15 years ago, she'd have been twerking for you, dude. You just paid her. What are you doing, dude? What are you fucking doing? Twerking for Kim Kardashian, you fucking nerd. Gianni Infantino. Yes, football unites us. Drake, especially in Canada. Like, what does that even mean? What?
No.
Especially
He's
in
dropping
Canada.
names. He has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, bro. I love how we thought he was going to change things. Sepp Blatter, honestly, when I watched the FIFA Uncovered documentary,
Which was great.
it was
Which-
incredible.
It was incredible.
One of my takeaways of it was the guy knew how to get stuff done. He knew how to game the system, and he was okay to just keep the ship a moving.
Everybody got a piece of the pie. Just some guys got a bigger piece. They got upset, and then that's how shit went down.
I'm supposed to believe that Gianni Infantino isn't,
Yeah, you were supposed to be like, this guy's clean.
Come on, bro.
Nice-
Swiss
nice suit.
Italian man.
Nice
Can
suit.
we get a guy who isn't Swiss, please? Can we get like an Austrian, maybe?
The last time we won with an Austrian.
Let's get a Bosnian. Let's get a Bosnian leader of the fucking
You don't. It's gonna get real corrupt.
Federation of International World Football
They
Organizations.
get so corrupt. We wouldn't want that.
It's kind of like the Pope. They're like nobody really wants the job, but it's just kind of given to you.
We need like an imam. We need like a Bosnian imam. We need like a guy who's like devoutly Muslim, so he's all about fairness and such, but he's European, a little cosmopolitan.
And he lives in a small village of 30 people, and he's got his own.
He's just a man of honor, Those are the last guys that have any fucking dignity.
Yeah, he's got his own.
Imams. Okay, I want to pull up this last thing here. I want to look at here. So you guys talked about the doping.
Is it porn?
Allegation.
Did you get porn on your phone right now?
No, it looks like
Gary
this.
Neville.
I'm like,
This is Gary Neville talking
Neville.
about the doping shit,
I
which
saw
I
that.
actually am going to be hearing for the first time. A listener sent it to me the other day, and I ghosted. I forgot to answer.
Oh, Nema was very passionate about this.
But
he said-
before,
what did he say?
Before you play it,
Yeah.
who do you think he's talking about?
Edgar Davids.
Because
Can I play it?
there
Then I'll-
before you play it, there was that big scandal about Juve, but there are people that are convinced that he is referring to Milan, who he played more times against.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Fucking roll it.
I'm gonna say this very for legal reasons.
I'm just going to say I apologize for the TikTok background music. This is the clip that was sent to me. I can't do the background dramatic
Sounds lovely.
alpha male music, the Illuminati music.
Yeah.
I think there were a few teams that we played against that weren't clean. We thought it at the time.
What were they too pumped up? They were too pumped.
Must be the Italian teams.
Honestly, I remember me and Giggs in the mid 2000s.
The only thing I remember,
we were fit. We were fit.
When we
That's
played
not-
certain teams, I would be walking off and I'd be, you're absolutely shattered. And I remember it. And I'd be looking at players I played against, a couple of Italian teams. And they look like they've not even played a match.
Yeah, honestly, I genuinely, and I look back now and I think the sort of the stuff that.
But why can't we talk about that? Are we not?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you can't accuse people of. But what I'm saying to you is
Staff? No, we're not naming names.
We're not naming clubs. No, but my point is, I think that when you look back now, what came out after in cycling and other sports and doctors, and then you think. We thought at the time there were things that I'm sorry, physically we were fit. We weren't drinkers. We were fit. That's not right.
Bullshit on that.
Bullshit. That's what I
We
mean.
were drinkers. That's not right.
The fact that you have to say that means that you were drinking.
Not necessarily, but I think there were
exactly the same thing.
Culture.
England in the 90s?
Before we try to see who he's talking about,
Define drinkers. In there.
we all you know this for a fact, and you do too, because we follow Juve. Whenever it came to Juve, even though he was there for a short period of time, he said that it was like a vacation playing for Man United.
That's what I was thinking.
He had never trained as hard as he did until he came to Juve under Allegri. So what does that say? You're not fit because you're not training properly, or are other teams doping?
Bro,
I think
there were guys
Italian,
But there were
fitness
doping
was-
scandals.
No,
We
but there
can't- we
was
can't-
doping
we can't
scandals, and
deny
I'm not
that doping
denying that.
did
But
happen.
he
Gizmo,
said,
what's the deal with Atalanta?
He said
You wanna
early to
pull up
mid
real quick what their
2000s.
accusations are?
Yeah,
So
his
who is he
name
referring to? Because he played Milan twice, right? And I think in 04, 05 they played each other, and maybe in
Edgar Davids used to run his shit in midfield.
and
He's
03, 04.
butthurt.
But they played Juve in 02, 03, the year that Juve made the Champions League finals. They played them twice, and United beat Juve twice. So who is this guy referring to? Like, who are you claiming? Name these teams. Name the names. Because now it's up for interpretation. And now, as a Juve fan, I look at it like, okay, there's not a black cloud around Juve. But is he referring to those Milan games? Or is he referring to how shitty his training sessions were?
Well, I don't know if it has to do with that, but also too, look at the style that England played back in the day. Look
And
at the
that
style
too.
that Italy played back, or the Italian clubs played back in the day. Like England was always known for a very kick and run type of football, type of soccer. So no kidding, you're going to be more
And-
exhausted.
Also, we got to remember this is like Italian teams in the 90s and early 2000s when they were kind of at the peak of it all, when I think they were doing things better than anyone else. I was referring, by the way, to the 02-03 season when I said that Milan and Juve went to the final, both of them. I think Porto went to the final in 04 when Mourinho won.
Yeah.
It was fucking 20 years ago, dude. It's insane. But
Did
yeah, I
the
mean,
Undertaker give out the trophy?
I got some results from you, Sam. What do you
okay.
do?
Well, let's get to Atalanta in a sec. But I will say, where my brain went was the same place yours went, which is like, dog, I don't know. Everyone who's ever come to Italy says that they take training way more seriously and that they're way more fit. So I don't know. Apparently they just run more. Apparently they make them run more, and I don't know. I can't imagine that training is easy at a Premier League club, but it seems that they're more.
But everybody talks about like for example, Conte's training his training regime is like ridiculous, right? He runs you to the ground. That's why Conte doesn't stay very long at a lot of teams.
By the way, you should do that. I mean, if you're a
But
coach, what are you
should,
not
yeah,
going to work them like
exactly.
machines?
But I do know that people are criticizing Allegri's training a little bit, but they said it's changed. Like the guys who Juve loaned out to Frosinone were like, this is unreal for training.
Okay.
Right? Shout out to Di Francesco for Frosinone, who's doing an unbelievable job. But they just train differently in Italy. We're like, in the EPL, they're physical. But I didn't see these teams from the EPL running all over us, right? Like, we were just as physical.
Look at the
So
Champions
don't complain
League
if we
final,
were more
yeah.
talented. And United played a different brand of football than a lot of the other British sides. But they use their wingers a lot. So you're going to get run over in the midfield, right? Like, because you're playing your wings more.
Just talking about them like they just had like witch doctors administering stuff in the fucking changing room.
And like, but there are a lot of people and a lot of like.
Fuck Gary Neville.
But think about it. Pep Guardiola, when he went to Brescia, I think it was at
Fuck you,
Brescia or
Gary.
Roma, he was banned for doping, right? He served a sentence. We saw Cannavaro with the needle in his, like the syringe, right? Like before the UEFA Cup
Here's the
final.
thing. Let's
We
not
saw
discount.
Davies
Listen.
too, right?
It's
Like,
upsetting. Listen, you like soccer. You think it's upsetting if you're an Italian football fan, or if you're like a soccer romantic, a guy who likes to romanticize the past and so on. You're a whatever, a football historian. I get that it might upset you to, ponder the prospect that any teams were doping, let alone ones that you like to reminisce about, like the Italian ones in the late 90s and early 2000s. But let's acknowledge that it's entirely possible.
Oh, it's probably 100%. I think, Juve
like
was...
50-50, maybe.
Juve, they went to trial, right? The statute of limitations kind of saved everything, and then...
And this is why wrestling is so important. Because
they're honest.
No, but it's like we're basically like Serie A is wrestling. It's a soap opera
In a different form.
Yeah, we're just talking about clubs instead of wrestling.
Yeah,
instead of Hulk Hogan with syringes, you got Fabio Cannavaro.
Just
with
Vince
syringes,
McMahon likes
right?
to
Like,
control the narrative and who the winner is, whereas you don't get that in real sports.
Yeah, I mean, that would never happen in Serie A, right?
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? By the way, I'm now convinced that Vince McMahon really did send those texts and they weren't fabricated, and he really was into shitting on ladies' because he was probably such a freak, dude. He's probably such an OCD weirdo to the point for him to have back in the 70s been like, I need to always control the result so that I can control, who the star is and who isn't. To be a guy like that, you probably have weird things going on, weird, control fantasies of one, and I don't know.
I can confirm those texts are real by one word in it, and he's the only guy I've ever known to use this word.
Okay.
Voluptuous. He's like, in the text, he says something about her voluptuous body.
The way he
that's
spoke
an
on-
80-year-old.
The way he spoke on cameras, the way he wrote those text messages.
That was such a WWF 2000 to Trish Stratus
Before the
her
merger.
voluptuous body. You know what I mean?
Bodacious.
Who else
But,
would
like,
say that?
Think about it. We talked about the doping. We talked about doping in Serie
Daily
A.
Mail talking about fucking JLo on the beach. Revealed her voluptuous figure. Fucking zooms in on her. She's just like, a normal lady. You ever notice that? The Daily Mail article is just like, she had a stunning, she wore a stunning bikini. It's just like a fucking black bikini.
Doping
No
in Serie A,
curves.
steroids in WWE. It's the same thing. It's all control, right? Vince McMahon gave steroids to people to control them. He controls your physique. He controls your every being. Because if he came on and said this guy was taking steroids, he sends you to jail, right?
100%.
100%. So he's basically controlling the narrative.
Gizmo, what do we got on Atalanta? Let's end on this. What's the allegation about Atalanta? I don't think I've ever gotten into this on the pod. So some
Here's
people,
the thing. We
there's
could
like
get
this,
into it, but
Side
it's...
note, never go to Atalanta wearing an away jersey.
So I've heard.
That is one thing, and we know that for a fact.
Really?
Because our friend and his wife went there, and they were like, we're lucky to make it out of there alive.
Whoa.
And
who were they playing?
They were playing Juve,
Who's moving the
and he's literally like, buddy, we had to put jackets on our jerseys because we thought we were going to die.
So we could talk about what happened at Atalanta. Nema and Carlo refrain from talking about it for legal reasons because they feel like they're gonna get sued. But this is the Bordello.
I don't.
So we're gonna.
I got nothing to lose.
Wait, what happened?
So I'll read you the
Are
headline.
we getting canceled?
No. Well, we canceled ourselves. So welcome to the afterlife.
Why did we cancel ours? Just by deciding to discuss this in the first place?
But what happened?
No, I
exactly?
mean we
just like coming on the Bordello. That's what.
No.
I'm just.
Castero said, "Yeah, we don't do this anymore." But I was Papu Gomez tested positive for a prohibited substance before the 2022 World Cup. He is banned from football for 2 years, and that's just recently. And then if you look at the guy who's been the not technical, but the athletic guy at Atalanta, the trainer, or one of the many trainers they probably have, he's been previously convicted of doping guys up at Juve prior to his position at Atalanta. So now you have Papu Gomez, who confirmed for doping and is banned for 2 years. I think this guy's still employed. I'm not going to say his name.
He's doing a great job, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he Pogba's friend?
Dude, I asked Nema about it, like, off pod, obviously, and he was just like, yeah, like, if you go and you go down that rabbit hole, like, it's all there. I don't even want to say the guy's name, but, like, it's all there.
It is all there. And
actually put his last name into Google. It's Scrubs, so that's what kind of put me off. Like, I don't even want to say the name.
Gianfranco Scantoni.
But there are the rumors where
I
don't know.
I'm not saying it without authorization.
I don't
Without
know.
authorization, I'm authorizing you to say it on the
His
pod.
last name is Bagsbo.
What?
Bagsbo.
How does that spell?
BAG Bags SBO.
Oh, he's got the bags on it.
Yeah,
Bagsbo.
Bagsbo.
What's his first name?
Dude, I could look it up. Like,
I'm just not because I want to reveal his
results-
identity because I don't
no,
give a shit.
but-
It's
no,
out
but,
there.
like, the
I just want to
fucking
know what
results
his
are
background
scrubs.
is.
You're looking for your next guest.
No.
no.
No, I just want to know what first name goes with Bagsbo. Is it Vladimir or is it Gennaro? You know? What is Bagsbo?
Jens Bagsbo.
Jens Bagsbo.
Danish.
Sounds evil. He
Danish
sounds evil.
philosopher of physiology and sports science at the University of Copenhagen. And
that sounds.
Oh, Nema knows. Nema
Yeah,
like went
yeah.
drinking in a pub with this guy once,
Yeah.
dude.
100%.
So I was reading this
Jens
online.
Bagsbo.
That's how.
And I'm not throwing anybody under
That's
the
my
bus.
uncle. I tried to save him.
When Guardiola, when he tested positive and he was banned, he had a personal trainer that was outside of Brescia's trainers or Roma, whichever club he was on. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
He brought that trainer to Barca during their
That's
peak.
right.
And now that trainer is with Man City during their peak now. Not a lot of their players get little muscle injuries.
But if you look at
If you
Jack
look, but if you look at Barca,
Science, bro.
how many times
isn't
did
he
guys,
the sexiest Englishman?
But how many
you've ever
times did
seen?
guys like Messi and those guys get hurt or miss games? Besides like a broken bone or
Can we
something,
get this
something
guy at
serious,
Juve to fix
right?
Chiesa?
So like this stuff has been going on for years, and like that's another black
It
cloud.
doesn't
that's
bother me, by the way.
around.
I would rather these guys be impermeable. Like, we're not even talking about like crazy, stuff that even appears to be bad for their health, or gets them to a point where it's like comical, like I don't know, where they look like wrestlers. It's just like little things,
Yeah.
little like an IV drip. Is an IV drip really a bad move? Can we increase their red blood cell level
There's
a little
so
bit?
many- there's so
Are we
many
not to be
athletes that do
entertained
that.
by these guys? Treat them as hamsters. Who cares?
They
right?
make money that would.
They'll be happier. They're
Yeah.
all psycho. You don't think Ronaldo wants more red blood cells or higher platelet levels? He'd be all in on that. I know they try to increase it naturally by like going on the carnivore diet. Why not just
Listen, Ronaldo realized his life dream yesterday when the Undertaker handed him that.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna keep going
ring the
back
bell.
to it.
Ring
I'm
the
gonna
bell.
go-
That's unbelievable.
Think about it. Like the Super Bowl this weekend, I'm disappointed. Like in Saudi Arabia, they have the Undertaker, and we got Roger Goodell. Like, come on, how are you gonna compare the
Who's going to accompany Roger Goodell?
You know what I mean? Like,
He needs a crew to accompany him.
you gotta hope Taylor Swift shows up somehow. Like, that's the sad part.
She's going to be there.
She will be there, and they've got the fucking Undertaker. That's all I want to point out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think the Atalanta thing's been like a wives' tale for a while, but hey, are they passing the tests?
Do you believe in the Atalanta tax? That basically once you buy a player from Atalanta, they just don't perform as well because they're off the juice.
Maybe. I hadn't considered that.
I mean, Juve. Who did Juve buy that
Kulusevski.
guy? Him, but also who was the back when Padoin was a
Caldara? No,
They
buy
bought Caldara.
Caldara, but there
then
was
he got into like
what was his
personal
name?
issues.
Palumbo or something? The Peluso. You remember him? Federico
But he was
Peluso.
like-
Yeah.
No,
Do
but
you
he
remember
wasn't
him?
that good though.
That's a deep cut.
That guy was doping for sure.
Peluso.
But didn't think come from him? Didn't Kessie?
Gianluca Mancini, Francesi. I mean, is
Pazienza,
but Kessie-
bro.
yeah, I mean, is the Atalanta
Pazienza
tax
came
real?
from Napoli.
Maybe we end on this. Is the Atalanta tax real?
I don't know, bro.
So if
Just
German Dennis
follow,
really that good?
German Dennis was a fucking G, bro.
follow the trials and tribulations of the career of Andrea Petagna, and you
Hey,
might be led to think that the Atalanta tax is real.
Hey,
But
Bo's
Roberto Gagliardini's another one.
Yeah.
Bozy got jacked after he won that Atlanta jersey.
That's what I gotta say. I got the Atlanta jersey. I can go down to a game, no problem. I can go see a match.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think look, I'm a private sovereign citizen. I mean, I'll say they're doping. Yeah, they're doping.
Probably.
They're doping. They're doing it well. Everyone knows, and they haven't been caught. What does that tell you?
They're doing it right.
They're staying.
Yeah.
They're staying in Serie A.
They're doing a
greasing
fucking great
the
job,
right
man.
reels.
You know, the city's happy. They built a new stadium. They built a new
did.
stadium on the back of doping.
Yeah, well, there you go.
It's been good for the team. It's been good. It's been good for the club. Gary Neville, fucking grow a pair of balls. I don't know.
Fuck you, Gary Neville.
What's your beef with him?
No, you know what? He just comes off as being this Jovian figure in the European football landscape. He he basically, presents himself.
What does Jovian mean? Sorry.
Like to basically present yourself as if you're some godly entity.
Is that a word?
Yes, Jovian. Jovian.
You mean jovial? Like he's a happy-go-lucky?
Jovial's happy. I don't know.
No, Jovian. Look it up. Anyway, anyway, he basically
Listen to the Swedish philosopher.
Yeah, or what does Nema say? We have a saying in Sweden that you are jovial.
Jovian, very
Jovian.
Jovian.
You can pull out your cock and smack it on the table. Anyway, so no, he presents himself as if he's some like almighty, philosophy on European football, and yet every time Man United hit a roadblock, again he shows up and says, "Oh, they were just doping." We were good lads. We didn't fucking drink. We didn't whatever. We were good lads. We should have won the Champions League every year at Manchester United because we had Sir Alex and we had David and we had whatever. I mean, I didn't even fucking go out as a lad. I hated the night out. It was always loud music in the club, and I was like, I don't want that. I'd rather just sit around with my mates and just have a chat. What's wrong with that? You got to go to a nightclub? Give me a break. I mean. Who are these people? Who is this guy's friends? Doesn't sound like he has many. Fuck you, Gary Neville. If this makes it to Gary Neville,
You ever hear
Gary
Gary Neville actually said exactly what you said. He's like, I wasn't talented enough like the other guys on our team where I had to train more and I didn't go out because I wasn't good enough and I would have lost my place on the team. He's like, where David, referring to Beckham, he's like, he had all the talent in the world. And all the girls wanted him. He would go out and he would come back and come in the middle of the night, sometimes go to training after the club. But he could do that because he was talented. Right? We see that with even a lot of the Brazilian players, right? We hear those stories about Ronaldinho and stuff. Some guys are just not that good enough. Gary Neville was decent for United, but if he didn't train and he partied, he wouldn't have lasted like a season there.
I like him.
I thought he was a good right back, but like
you,
he
Gary.
needed to be more committed than a lot of other players because he wasn't
like-
as talented.
yeah.
and
I'm a
gifted as the other
citizen now.
ones.
I have to defend the league. Fuck you, Gary.
Brother. Yeah.
My
I,
citizen.
Yeah, why say all this now? You know what I mean? What is Gary Neville doing about this now? But like that's the point. Like you should be worried about the Glazers and the new owner than worrying about Italian teams doping 20 years ago, because your time is up when you figure out because Old Trafford's a dump.
well,
Start complaining to them. Let's fix this place. Don't worry about what Milan and Juve was doing before.
he's not
Don't worry about
yeah,
us.
He's not ready to face the wrath of young, newly minted Italians
Oh,
who are looking to get back into the good graces of the Republic.
you know what?
After plans got leaked, their
Simon,
plans
where's
to,
this
to
cake,
pass
by
the
the way?
citizenship on.
Is this cake from Walmart?
To,
That's
Yeah,
something
did you
European.
order this cake from Montreal? I'm like,
This came from Saputo. What's going on
what's
here?
that service fee gonna be like?
So that cake's never coming, bro. yeah, but I don't know. I like Neville, but I like the way you. that was fun. That was a fun little rant, dude. That was maybe the best imitation I've ever heard of anyone give on Neville in the wild. I was out with my mates. I appreciate you guys all coming on, man. Is there anything that we need to plug, or I mean, is Stereo City A ever coming back?
No,
It's dead forever.
I think so.
Dead in the
We
water.
tossed it around.
Yeah, like it's not dead, but like So your friend Chris over in New York wants you to do more calcio content. Why don't you buy Stereo Serie A from us and then just have 2 podcasts going at the same time? How does that sound? Get in the good graces of him, but also pursue comedy.
You don't need a new car. I mean, you need stereo set. Yeah, that's what you need. Just saying.
We should, I don't know, let's try to get the Undertaker involved somehow.
Yes. I may know somebody.
He's for rent.
Can you throw in a fucking, I don't know, throw in an appearance from the Undertaker every
And a
time,
new alternator.
once a year? Just present the mic to me.
And when you buy the stereo set name, you get a Grossi rent once a month included.
Those guys from the States, they don't want to hear from us.
No, but you know what? And
they don't want to hear from us. Those guys in the States, I think they run their mouths there.
I'm going to give a serious answer, though, for a sec. In all honesty, with Stereo Serie A, I think when we started, it was a very different landscape in terms of there was almost no English Serie A content. And, like, I don't want to sound cheesy or anything, but, like, now there's so much out there.
Everyone and their nonna has
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, bro.
You got to... and I don't want to sound cocky, but I think at our prime, I'm still thinking that we were better than a lot of podcasts out there today. I mean, there's some amazing podcasts today. We mentioned Nema's, like there's some good ones, but at the same time, like I think at our peak, even 10 years ago, we delivered something that you still don't necessarily see. So there's a part of me there that I'm like, I would love to get back.
You know what it is too, is that like we were physically there in person.
Yeah,
the
it's
way
a
we're
different
doing
world.
it now. Totally different. Yeah, no, the Zoom ones, it just doesn't translate on the digital platforms the same, man. Like you have to be in the same room. It makes it like that moment has to be real. Over Zoom, it doesn't work, man. Like I need to see you in the flesh. I need to hear your voice reverberate through the walls in the same room. Like that's just what makes the moment.
As long as I'm doing anything football related, I'll happy to get you guys on whenever possible, man.
Because apparently we suck at life.
You guys sucked me in very, very aggressively. The Grossi rants, the stories about having to buy tickets at bakeries and yelling about people's uncles and Grossi punching a friar or something that one time in the hills in Italy, or a monk.
Yeah, that's
Franciscan
right.
monk.
That was an accident.
I think we talked about that.
We won't go into that. But
I mean,
Monica, that was okay.
Yeah.
We were all right after.
No, you
We're
guys
cool now. We're cool now.
No, what you guys had was unique. So
We're cool now.
what you guys had was awesome. It was unique, and I'm happy to always tap into it, man. Whenever
Are
you
you
guys
trying
would be
to
willing to
blame
meet
us?
up. So,
Are you trying to blame us for the Bordello? Is that what you're trying to do here?
oh, bro.
Yeah, seriously. Are you?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Follow me at I'm Sam Adamo. If you don't subscribe to the pod, do you guys want to be followed, or am I the only poor sap that's asking people to approve?
I wasn't on this.
Don't come at me with this shit. If we're not friends, don't fucking come to me.
IG Bozy77, baby.
Lovely. See how many private account. They got a request. They got a request to follow.
We love you,
Accept
Nema.
none just for the
Mwah.
ego boost. All right, listeners, thanks for tuning in. Thanks to the boys, Stereo City. Fucking, you guys are the best. You guys are awesome. Yeah, man. As long as we're able to keep doing this, I'm down whenever. Once
Thanks
in
for
a
the
while.
cake.
Fucking awesome. Yeah, let's go. Let's go have some. Let's go fucking cover a cake.
Thanks
Alla
for the cake.
prossima. Ciao.